Hi, welcome back to my YouTube page. Here's another update of my saltwater aquarium. My 55-gallon saltwater aquarium. Got a few requests just to walk through my filtration system and what I'm using. If any of you have seen my first video, I kind of briefly mentioned what I am using for my setup. It's a very simple setup, just fish only. 55-gallon saltwater. I have an Eheim canister filter. It's the 2215 model, and it's rated for about 100 gallons. And it basically, gallons per hour measure out to be around 180. So basically it cycles my tank 3.5 times an hour, and that's about what you want for a simple setup like mine. Sorry if the lighting is very poor, it's kind of hard to see my Eheim. There's the intake and the outtake valves leading up to where I have that position in the tank. The intake is right there, and it basically cycles through. Here you've got your biological, your chemical, and your mechanical filtration. It comes with the substrate and everything that you need, and all the media that you need to start off. And I love this this filter. It has been working great for my system. It's basically all I need for my setup. There's the outtake valve, and that's it for my filtration. For my protein skimmer, I have chosen the ProClear backpack. It's the new version. It's the AeroForce backpack, and it doesn't come with any media. What it does is it has a separate power head to create the micro bubbles, and there's the intake power head, and this thing works beautifully. It has been performing so well. It's so easy to use and needs very few adjustments. I love the thing. It's been working great. Like I said before, I have 4 fish. There's my yellow tang, my 2 clowns, and the 3 striped damsel right there. I'm going to put probably 1, maybe 2 more fish, but I'm going to keep it simple with just the live rock. I've got about 40 pounds of live rock right now. I've added to it since my last videos. And this is all I'm going to do, basically. A lot of you that have questions about this sort of thing, the best thing to do is talk to people, read a lot, find out the basics of what you want to set up. Everybody wants their own setup. Start off slow. Be very patient. Don't rush things. And that's probably the best advice you could ever have doing saltwater. You can find some of these items fairly inexpensive. Don't just take the cheap route and buy the cheap filters. In my experience, hang on the back filters for saltwater, don't do it. Don't even attempt it. You need a good sized filter to pump the water through the aquarium. And basically it needs to filter through a lot, meaning that you want something that's rated for about 3 times the size of your aquarium. And that's why I've chosen the Eheim, because it, like I said, it pumps 180 gallons per hour. So it cycles my tank, my 55-gallon, about 3.5 times per hour, and that's a good rate for what I have set up. Your live rock offers a lot of biological filtration. It is absolutely necessary in my experience. Some of you don't like live rock. Some of you, others that have your more complicated trickle filters. And that's fine. Everybody has their own method of how they want to do it. And you have to ask yourself what you want to do. It's good to plan it out, and like I said, move slow. See, I'm all huddled up in the corner here. Ha! These guys are something else. Anyway, got the 2 power heads here, the Corellia power heads, one on either side. It's very essential to have good water movement for a saltwater aquarium as well. One of 2 reasons. One, if you use live rock as your biological filtration, which I do, and of course it's in my canister, good water movement is essential because the water pushes through them. A lot of it's hollowed out, and the microorganisms really get a hold of a lot of the debris, and so does the protein skimmer. So it's really essential. At the top of the surface here, I've got a lot of waves being created with the left side power head. That creates good water and oxygen exchange, and that's very important for fish such as tangs. Tangs need really good oxygen in their water level. As you can see, the yellow tang is probably one of the easier ones to keep out of all the tangs. 55 is the size you want to do, or larger. If you can go larger, it's better. All tangs need large aquariums and long aquariums to swim. They love to swim. There's a lot of videos here on YouTube where people have, 40-gallon breeder tanks, they've got 30-gallon tanks, and they have tangs in them, and that's not a good idea. If you're going to set something up, you want to go with 55 or larger for saltwater. If you want to do a nano tank, that's fine, but don't put tangs in it. If you're going to do a 29-gallon or a little tank, limit yourself to just clownfish and damsels. Don't put anything else in there because they just won't do very well. Some of you might argue with me or feel differently. That's fine, but in my experience and other people's as well, tangs need a lot of room to swim. The bigger tangs, like your blue regals and your powder blues, a little bit harder. You want something larger, like a 90-gallon or larger for those tangs. 55-gallon is pretty good for this little guy here, the yellow tang, but larger is better, like I said. I do a water change probably 20% every 2 weeks. It's good to maintain a good water change, a good schedule for the fish. It's very important, and that's what I do. That's part of my success in my aquarium so far. So again, like I said, don't just take my advice. Read a lot of people's information. Talk to people. Don't just rely on what the fish stores out there are selling you. Do research. There's a lot of good information on the web. There's a lot of good books out there. But talk to other fish owners and what works for them. Ask what works for them and their successes and trials, and you're going to get a lot of different answers, but you'll at least be able to make a good decision. And there's a lot of great products out there that'll help you get started. The technology is definitely better now than it once was, 20 years ago, say. But it's a lot of fun to do. Don't be scared of saltwater, because there's a few more things like water testing, but it's not much harder than freshwater. You only have to buy a protein skimmer, which is an absolute necessity for saltwater, and you have to maintain and watch your water levels. You got to watch your salt levels, your salinity. That's what this little guy does right here. That is the Deep 6 Coral Life Specific Gravity Hydrometer. There's different kinds of hydrometers, you definitely need one to check the salinity. You need a test kit to test your water. Here's what I have. I've got the, as you can see, it's the Saltwater Master Liquid Test Kit. It measures the pH, the ammonia, the nitrite, and nitrate. Now, in maintaining those, it's really important to keep all your ammonia, your nitrate, and nitrite levels at 0. And your pH, preferably, you want it somewhere in between 8.0 and 8.3. Mine is at 8.2. Again, some of you might have different opinion. But that's pretty much it. Happy fishing, and good luck if you decide to start one. It's a lot of fun, great hobby. This is what I like to do, so hey, do your thing. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.